Welcome back, everyone, and very good afternoon once again. My name is Deborah Pereira, and I will take you through today's event, the AFC Under-19 Championship 2022 Qualifiers Draw. Before we begin, we have distinguished guests among us today. I would like to welcome once again Yang Hormat Dato Winsor John, AFC General Secretary, Mr. Chai Yong, Executive Committee Member from Chinese Football Association, AFC Directors, Heads of Department, team representatives, and members of the media. We will have a total of 46 teams participating in the qualifiers to be played this coming November. 46 teams will be separated into West and East zone based on the region, and the qualifiers will be played in 2 zones accordingly. Before we proceed separating teams into different groups for the qualifiers, let's have a look at some highlights from the previous competition. Before we proceed with the draw, let's have a look at how it all works with the next video explaining the technical procedures of the draw mechanism for the West Zone.
AFC Under-19 Championship 2020 Qualifiers. Draw mechanism. 46 AFC member associations have expressed their interest to participate in the AFC Under-19 Championship 2020. Competition format. The competition will consist of qualifying and final stages as follows. Seeding. Seeding for the draw shall be based on the rankings of the AFC Under-19 Championship Indonesia 2018. The teams which did not participate in the 2018 edition have been added in the table as the lowest ranked teams. Afghanistan, Bhutan, Guam, Kuwait, Northern Mariana Islands, and Pakistan. Zoning of participating teams and mode of competition. The 46 member associations will be divided into 2 zones of West, West plus South plus Central with 25 teams, and East, East plus ASEAN with 21 teams as follows. Groupings and match dates. There shall be 5 groups of 4 teams and 1 group with 5 teams in the West Zone, total 6 groups. There shall be 4 groups of 4 teams and 1 group with 5 teams in the East Zone, total 5 groups. 11 group winners and 4 best second-place teams shall qualify to the final competition, total 15 teams. Host of the final competition shall receive an automatic qualification to the final round of the competition, total 1 team. In the event that the host association decides to participate and qualifies for the finals, the next 5th second-place team in the ranking will also qualify to the final competition. The member associations that have been selected as the host of qualifiers will be drawn into separate groups. The qualifiers shall be played according to AFC Calendar of Competitions 2019 from 2nd to 10th November 2019. All matches shall conclude on the same day, on 10th November 2019, regardless of the number of teams in the group, in order for fair play to be applied. Draw mechanics, West Zone. Draw principles. Teams will be allocated into 5 seeding pots and 1 host's pot. The host member associations will be drawn into separate groups and therefore will be placed in a separate pot allocated. Each host association will be drawn into the same position as reflected in their original seeding. The member associations selected to host the West Zone qualifiers are Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Tajikistan, Iraq, Islamic Republic of Iran and Bahrain. Draw will commence in the following sequence. Hosts pot, pot 5, pot 4, pot 3, pot 2, pot 1. Hosts pot. First teams drawn will be allocated into Group A respectively. However, their position in Group A will depend on the seeding of the drawn team. For instance, if Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Tajikistan or Iraq drawn, they will be positioned as A1. But if Islamic Republic of Iran or Bahrain is drawn, they will be positioned as A2. The second team to 6th teams drawn will be allocated into Group B to F respectively. Pot 5. 4 teams seeded 22 to 25. First team to be drawn will be positioned as A5. The remaining 3 teams will be moved to Pot 4. Pot 4. 3 teams seeded 19 to 21 and 3 teams from Pot 5. First to 6th ball drawn will be placed in empty position 4 of all groups in the order from A to F accordingly. Pot 3. 6 teams seeded 13 to 18. First to 6th ball drawn will be placed in empty position 3 of all groups in the order from A to F accordingly. Pot 2. 4 teams seeded 7 to 12, excluding hosts Bahrain and Islamic Republic of Iran. First to 4th ball drawn will be placed in empty position 2 of all groups in the order from A to F accordingly. Pot 1. 2 teams seeded 1 to 6, excluding hosts Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Tajikistan and Iraq. First to 2nd ball drawn will be placed in empty position 1 of all groups in the order from A to F accordingly. This will conclude the draw for the AFC Under-19 Championship 2020 Qualifiers, West Zone.
Now that we are all clear on how the draw mechanism works for the West Zone, to conduct the draw, please welcome on stage the Head of National Team Competitions, Mr. Avazbek Berdikolov.
Good afternoon and welcome to AFC House in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, home of Asian football. For the colleagues and guests who attended Under-16 draw earlier today, I would like to mention that it will be a very similar draw. We will decide to identify teams into different groups because competition format is quite similar. But for those who are new, I would like to mention that we are starting the next competition only after 6 months playing the last match in Indonesia in 2018. This is the last edition of Under-19 competition, which will be called Under-19, because starting from its next edition, AFC will change its format to Under-20 competition, and it will be played in the same year of FIFA Under-20 World Cup to give our teams better chance of preparing for the upcoming competitions. Saying which, I would like to wish top 4 teams of the previous competition, including champion Saudi Arabia, who is represented today with some representatives from the member association, all the best in the upcoming FIFA Under-20 World Cup, which will start in Poland in the coming days. So now we'll start our draw, and as I explained in the draw mechanics, I will separate hosts into different pots, and I will start the draw with the host pot. Short reminder, if I'm blocking the screen in front of you, please use the screens on the left and right for your reference, which will give you the clear image of the draw as it happens. Maybe I will block some of the information from your eyes during the draw. We already identified the hosts into different colors, so I will move them into pot allocated for hosts. We'll decide to draw them into 6 groups, and then we'll go into draw of normal teams to identify which team will travel to which country. Small note, teams will be given to the same position as their pot. And we already put this in front of you. As you can see, if Iraq, Qatar, Saudi, or Tajikistan drawn, in any group, they will take position 1, while Bahrain and Iran, in any group, they will take position 2. This will help us to maintain the pots, which we don't want to affect during the draw because of hosting. The first team drawn will host the group A, which will have 5 teams, and we have Iraq. Second place in 2012, champion in 2000. They didn't miss final of Under-19 championship since 2004. Iraq, one of the strong teams in this competition and very good contestant to qualify for the finals. Hosting group P, we have next team, which is Qatar. Champion in 2014, semi-final in last edition, host of qualifiers. Team from pot 1 occupy position 1 in group B. Next team, going to group C, we have Tajikistan. Quarter-finalists in 2018, they are host of the qualifiers, and they are also team from pot 1, and they will occupy position 1 in group C. Halfway through, 3 more teams to go. The next team, going to group D and hosting group D, we have Islamic Republic of Iran. 4 times champion in this competition. However, they missed the last edition. Host of qualifiers from pot 2. They will occupy position 2 in group D. We have Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. So group E will be hosted by one of these teams. And we have Bahrain here. They also missed the last edition. However, they were quarterfinalists in 2016. Host of qualifiers, group E, position 2, Bahrain. And here is the confirmation that we have Saudi Arabia as the last team from this pot. Saudi Arabia, defending champion, top team of this competition, host of the qualifiers from pot 1, and they occupy position 1 in group F. Now we move on to pot 5. We have 4 teams in pot 5. I will draw 1 team into position 5, and then I will move 3 remaining teams to join pot 4. The reason we separate them from the beginning are these 4 teams are non-ranked teams, and we don't need to mix them with the ranked teams from the beginning. All of them did not participate in the previous competition for various reasons, and I hope that will be good coming back from each of these 4 teams. Going to group A, traveling to Iraq, we have Pakistan. Last time in the final competition back in 2000, Pakistan is trying to make it in the final again. In order to do so, they have to play in group A with hosts Iraq. 3 other teams, as I said, I will move to pot 4, and then we have 6 teams, which will be allocated to 6 different groups starting from A to F. Joining Pakistan and Iraq in group A, we have Kuwait. They missed last 3 editions due to suspensions, but Kuwait is back, and now they will be one of the strong contestants in this group, and it will be quite strong group in Iraq. Traveling to Qatar, we have Sri Lanka. Last time in the finals in 1986, Sri Lanka traveling to Qatar, position 4 in group B. Now, traveling to Tajikistan and joining them in group C, we have Maldives. They were never in the final competition. They will try their luck starting from position 4 in group C. Halfway through in pot 4, we have next team joining Iran in group D, Nepal. They were in the final competition in 2004. That was the last time, and competition was played here in Malaysia. Nepal will travel to Iran in group D. Joining Bahrain, we have either Bhutan or Afghanistan. Bhutan. They were never in the final competition. One of the teams yet to qualify and make their debut in the final. They will play in Bahrain in Group E. Joining Saudi Arabia, defending champions, in Group F, we have Afghanistan. Last time they played in finals of under-19 was back in 1978. Afghanistan, Group F, position 4. Okay. Now we identify teams for position 3 in each group. Same principle apply from A to F. Joining Iraq, Kuwait, and Pakistan, we have Palestine. Quite strong group forming up here. They were never in the final competition. However, really strong team to play against in this level. Palestine, Group A, position 3. Traveling to Qatar and joining fellow hosts Qatar and Sri Lanka, we have Turkmenistan. They never participated in the final of AFC Under-19 Championship. They will try to reach Under-19 Championship finals via playing in Group B in position 3. Next team, we will travel to Tajikistan. In Group C, we have Lebanon. Once a strong team in the youth competitions. Last time in the final in 2008, Lebanon, position 3 in Group C. Halfway through in this pot as well. Now, group of Iran and Nepal, we have Kyrgyz Republic. They were in the finals of AFC Under-19 Championship in 2006. They will try once again. They have to play against hosts Iran and Nepal in Group D. Okay, India and Bangladesh. One of them going to Bahrain now. Bangladesh. They were in final competition in 2002 when it was played in Qatar. And Bangladesh will try to make it through again in Group E, position 3. India is the last team from this pot, and here is the confirmation. India, they missed last 6 editions of the AFC Under-19 Championship finals, but regular participant before that. So India back in the competition again in Group F, position 3. Pot 2, as you can see, 2 positions in pot 2 already drawn. Iran and Bahrain to Group D and E. So remaining 4 balls will be drawn into empty positions in Groups A, B, C, and F. Joining Iraq and completing Group A, we have Oman. They missed last 2 editions. They played in 2000 in the final competition. In 2014 and 2000 were only 2 times they qualified for the finals. Oman, Group A, traveling to Iraq. Next team, traveling to Qatar and joining Qatar, Turkmenistan, and Sri Lanka, we have Yemen. They missed the last edition. Strong team in youth level, and they will play with Qatar, Turkmenistan, and Sri Lanka in Group B. 2 more to go. Traveling to Dushanbe, to Tajikistan, Syria. They were also not lucky to qualify for the last 3 editions, but they were champions back in 1994. Syria, traveling to Tajikistan in Group C. The last team is Uzbekistan, and they will travel to Saudi Arabia to join India and Afghanistan. And here is the confirmation. They were second in 2008 when competition was played in Saudi Arabia. Uzbekistan missed last edition, and they are bidding to host the final competition of AFC Under-19 Championship 2020. Uzbekistan, Group F, position 2. So we have 2 teams from pot 1, all other 4 teams already drawn. And I'm very pleased to say that most strong teams are hosting the competition qualifiers, or maybe they are strong because they are hosting and qualifying for the final competitions. So we have only 2 teams from this spot at the moment, Jordan and United Arab Emirates. First team going to Group D, traveling to Iran, we have United Arab Emirates. Champion in 2008, and they never missed final competition after that, United Arab Emirates, traveling to Iran in Group D. So last team from pot 1 in West Zone should be Jordan, and they should travel to Bahrain. Here is the confirmation. Jordan, 4th place in 2000. They missed last 2 editions, and Jordan back in the game again. Group E, position 1 in West Zone. Thank you. Deborah, back to you.
Thank you, Abbas. Ladies and gentlemen, while my colleagues will now prepare the stage for the next draw, that is the qualifiers draw for the East Zone. While they prepare for it, please allow me to recap on the draw results for the West Zone. For Group A, Iraq as hosts, Oman, Palestine, Kuwait, and Pakistan. For Group B, Qatar as hosts, Yemen, Turkmenistan, and Sri Lanka. For Group C, Tajikistan as hosts, Syria, Lebanon, and Maldives. For Group D, United Arab Emirates, Islamic Republic of Iran as hosts, Kyrgyz Republic and Nepal. Group E, Jordan, Bahrain as hosts, Bangladesh and Bhutan. Group F, Saudi Arabia as hosts, Uzbekistan, India, and Afghanistan. Thank you, Jesse. Now, before we proceed with the next draw for the East Zone, let's have a look at how it all works with the next video, explaining the technical procedures of the draw mechanism for the East Zone.
Draw mechanics, East Zone. Teams will be allocated into 5 seeding pots and 1 hosts pot. The host member associations will be drawn into separate groups and therefore will be placed in a separate pot at the beginning of the draw. Each host association will be drawn into the same position as reflected in their original seeding. The member associations selected to host the qualifiers are Indonesia, Vietnam, Chinese Taipei, Cambodia, and Myanmar. Draw will commence in the following sequence: Hosts pot, Pot 5, Pot 4, Pot 3, Pot 2, Pot 1. Hosts pot. 5 teams selected as hosts of qualifiers. First team drawn will be allocated into Group G, however their position in Group G will depend on the seeding of the drawn team. For instance, if Indonesia is drawn, they will be positioned as G1. But if Chinese Taipei or Vietnam is drawn, they will be positioned as G2, while Cambodia or Myanmar will be positioned as G3 if drawn as first team. The second team to 5th teams drawn will be allocated into Group H and K respectively. Pot 5, 2 teams seeded 20 to 21. First team drawn will be positioned as G5. The remaining 1 team will be moved to Pot 4. Pot 4, 4 teams seeded 16 to 19 and 1 team from Pot 5. First to 5th ball drawn will be placed in empty position 4 of all groups in the order from G to K accordingly. Pot 3, 3 teams seeded 11 to 15, excluding hosts, Cambodia and Myanmar. First to 3rd ball drawn will be placed in empty position 3 of all groups in the order from G to K accordingly. Pot 2, 3 teams seeded 6 to 10, excluding hosts, Chinese Taipei and Vietnam. First to 3rd ball drawn will be placed in empty position 2 of all groups in the order from G to K accordingly. Pot 1, 4 teams seeded 1 to 5, excluding host Indonesia. First to 4th ball drawn will be placed in empty position 1 of all groups in the order from G to K accordingly. This will conclude the draw for the AFC Under-19 Championship 2020 Qualifiers, East Zone.
Now that we are all clear on how the draw mechanism works, to conduct the draw once again for East Zone, please welcome on stage the head of National Team Competitions, Mr. Avazbek Berdikalov.
Thank you, Deborah, again. So I took little rest using this video and changing of the pots, and we're back to action again, and we resume our draw for East Zone. As we did for West Zone, if you have noticed, we will take host countries from different pots, and we will put them into host pot, and these are the countries who will host 5 groups. However, we will keep reminding which team was taken from which pot, so we'll put them into right position in the group. First team drawn will go to group G, but their position will depend on the pot number, which is shown in front of you. But for the groups, please refer to the screens on your left and right, because we may be blocking, or I will be blocking, the draw results. First team from East Zone going to group G and hosting it, we have Cambodia. Host of the qualifiers, they were last in the final in 1974, but they failed to qualify in 2018 just because of 1 goal difference. Cambodia, group G, position 3. Hosting group H, we have next team, Chinese Taipei. If they qualify, that will be second consecutive time. Chinese Taipei from pot 2, hosting group H, position 2. Next team, hosting group I, we have Myanmar. Missed last 2 finals, but surprisingly 7 times champion of this competition, and second best result after Korea Republic. Myanmar hosting group I in position 3. Next team hosting group J, we have Vietnam. They qualified 5 times back-to-back for these finals, and this will be their 6th appearance if they qualify to the final competition. And they were semi-finalists back in 2016. Vietnam, group J, position 2. And Indonesia, from the top pot, they will go to position 1 in group K. And here is the confirmation. Indonesia missed competition in 2016, host of qualifiers, and they were host of the previous final of the AFC Under-19 Championship, and they reached quarter-final stage of the previous Under-19 Championship. Now we move on to pot 5. We draw 1 team into position 5 in group G and move other team to pot 4. Okay. Joining Cambodia in group G, we have Northern Mariana Islands. Never in the final of AFC Under-19 Championship. Northern Mariana Islands, group G, position 5. And I will move this team to pot 4, and I will steer all teams together. And we have 5 teams to be drawn into 5 groups in position 4. Okay, first team joining Cambodia in Northern Mariana Island in group G, we have Brunei Darussalam. Last time in the final of AFC Under-19 Championship back in 1975, Brunei Darussalam joining Cambodia and traveling to Cambodia together with Northern Mariana Islands, group G. Group H, traveling to Chinese Taipei, taking position 4 in group H, we have Laos. Last time in the final in 2004, Laos back in the competition and traveling to Chinese Taipei in group H. Team going to group I, traveling to Myanmar, we have Singapore. They were also in the final competition back in 1970s. 1978 to be precise, and they need to come back stronger if they want to qualify to the competition again. Group I, position 4, Singapore. 2 teams left, Guam and Timor-Leste. So we have Vietnam hosting Guam, never in the final competition, and they will travel to Vietnam in Group J. And Indonesia now will have Timor-Leste, very interesting pairing in Group K. Timor-Leste traveling to neighboring Indonesia, never in the final since the participation as a nation starting from 2004. In Timor-Leste traveling to neighboring Indonesia. Okay, now in pot 3, as you can see, we have already drawn 2 teams. Remaining 3 teams will go to position 3 in Group H, J, and K. The first team traveling to Chinese Taipei in Group H, we have Macau. Never in the final competition, and they will occupy position 3 in Group H, Macau from pot 3. Now we need to identify who will travel to Vietnam in Group J and who will travel to Indonesia in Group K. Mongolia, joining Vietnam and Guam in Group J, never in the final competition, taking position 3 in Group J, Mongolia. And Hong Kong shall play against Indonesia and Timor-Leste in Group K, and here is the confirmation. Last time in the final competition in 1977, Hong Kong, position 3 in Group K. Similarly, we already have 2 positions occupied from pot 2. Now we'll draw remaining 3 teams, which are Malaysia, DPR Korea, and China People's Republic. First team will go to Group G, traveling to Cambodia. We have Malaysia. That will be second consecutive time if they qualify for the final competition. Malaysia will travel to Cambodia, and they will play against Brunei Darussalam and Northern Mariana Islands, and of course, hosts Cambodia. Next team, going to Group I, position 2, sorry. China. They never missed the final competition since 1994, champion in 1985. They are coached by Gus Hiddink, the best coach among these participating teams. So it will be quite interesting team to watch when competition is played in November later this year. China, Group I, position 2. And here is the confirmation, DPR Korea, who will join Group K in position 2 and therefore complete Group K, DPR Korea. They never missed the final competition since 2006, champion in 2010 and 2006, traveling to Indonesia in Group K. Okay, top 4 teams. Let's find out who will be the top 4 teams taking positions 1 in Group G, H, I, and J. Joining Malaysia, Cambodia, Brunei Darussalam, and Northern Mariana Island, we have here Thailand. They never missed the final stage since 1992. This will be 15th participation in the competition and 15th qualification to the final competition if they make it through. Thailand, position 1 in Group G. Traveling to Chinese Taipei and taking position 1 in Group H, we have the next team, Australia. They never missed the final since joining AFC in 2006. They were second in 2010, however, yet to win the AFC Under-19 Championship. Australia, Group H, position 1. Now China, Myanmar, Singapore. Mr. Tsai, which team do you want? I know both of them are very strong, and I'm sorry for this draw. We have Korea Republic. Defending runners-up, champions in 2012, and they also won competition 11 more times. So Korea Republic, Group I, position 1, played in Myanmar. And here is a confirmation. Last team of the day, we have Japan, who will travel to Vietnam, joining Mongolia and Guam in Group J. Never missed the final competition since 1988, champion in 2016. That's the only time so far they were the champion of Under 19 championship. Japan, Group J. With this, I thank you for your attention. Thank you for coming to attend the draw, and I wish all the teams the best luck coming November 2019. Thank you.
Thank you, Avas, for an exciting draw. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to recap on the draw results for each zone. Group G, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia as hosts, Brunei Darussalam, and Northern Mariana Islands. For Group H, Australia, Chinese Taipei as hosts, Macau and Laos. For Group I, Korea Republic, China PR, Myanmar as hosts, and Singapore. For Group J, Japan, Vietnam as hosts, Mongolia and Guam. For Group K, Indonesia as hosts, DPR Korea, Hong Kong, and Timor-Leste. This marks the end of the draw for today. The match schedule will be distributed to you shortly. Thank you everyone for your attendance. I wish the participating teams the very best of luck, and may the matches be played in the spirit of fair play. Thank you.